Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our second session for the topic clocks. In the previous session, we have discussed some concepts and problems which are frequently asked in competitive exams on clocks. In this session, we'll have a quick recap with one or two problems and we'll cover up new patterns. Okay, so let's begin this session. So friends, let's take the first question. The question says, at what time between 7 to 8 the hands of the clock are in same straight line? The hands of the clock are in same straight line, but they are not together. That means, see, when we talk about that they are in the same straight line, that means there are two situations. Either they are coinciding, or they are having an angle of 180 degree. That means this is the situation. Okay, and in this case this is the situation. So coincide or 180 degree angle. So they are in the same straight line, but they are not together. That means the angle between these two is 180 degree. Now between 7 to 8 we have to find out at what time the angle between minute hand and hour hand is 180 degree. Okay, now friends, at 7 o'clock situation is something like this, right? The difference between this or this angle exactly at 7 o'clock is 30 into 5, that is 150 degree. Okay, that's 30 degree per hour, but we want it to be 180, right? So that means this minute hand will move slightly this side and this hour hand will also move slightly this side. So at somewhere around here the angle will be 180 degree, right? That means 150 degree is already there, that is the angle between minute hand and hour hand, and we want 30 degree more. Now as we have already discussed in the previous session, because hour hand is also moving and minute hand is also moving, but minute hand is moving fast. How much fast? 5.5 degree per minute, right? That means it has to gain 30 degree. So 5.5 degree is gained in 1 minute. That means 30 degree will be gained in 30 by 5.5, 60 by 11. Okay. Okay, that means after 7, 5 by 11 more minute it will take to get the angle of 180 degree between hour and minute end. A very simple calculation, friends. I hope you are clear. Now friends, suppose in the same question we have to find out when the two hands will meet, at what time, right? So I'll just begin once again. Initially the situation is this. Okay, the angle between them is 150 degree. If it has to meet this hand, then it has to cover this much distance. So it's 150, so it must be 210 degree. So it actually it has to gain 210 degree because R end will also move. So the same thing, 5.5 degree in 1 minute, so 210. So that's 420 by 11. Okay, so after 7, 38 2 by 11 more minutes it will take for them to coincide with each other. Okay, so from this logic you can find out any situation or any given condition. Okay, most frequently asked conditions are when they will coincide, or when they will be straight, or when they will be forming a 180 degree angle, or when they will be like in opposite direction, when they will be forming 90 degree angle. These are the most like frequently asked like conditions, okay, or questions. So now let's cover up the next pattern. Now friends, let's discuss the next pattern. How many times do the hands of a clock coincide in a day? See, to understand this concept, what I do is I use the concept of time, speed and distance, and I'm going to use the relative speed concept over here. Now relative speed or gaining speed. Okay, initially we know that at 12 o'clock this is the situation. This is minute end, this is RN. They are together, right? Now we have to find out after what time they will be again together. Now we know minute end covers 60. In 60 minutes it covers 360 degree, right? In 60 minutes one round is completed, right? And in case of R and in 12 hours one round is completed. Okay, so what will happen now? See, after completing one complete round, this minute hand, when it reaches at 12, the RN will be at 1, right? So angle between them as of now is 30 degree. Okay, the first case we have taken is that they are already together. After 1 hour, the angle is of 30 degree is there, right? When the minute hand reaches at 12, RN will be at 1. Now to meet this minute end to this RN, it has to gain this 30 degree. Am I right? So we know 30 degree, 5.5 degree per minute it is gaining. So 5 by 11 minute it will take. That means after 1, 5 by 11, at 5 by 11 they will be meeting, right? So once they meet, after that the story continues, the minute and keeps moving with the faster speed than RN. And what will happen at 2 o'clock? The angle between them will be now 60 degree. Okay, now to cover up this distance, it will take double time. To cover up 30 degree, it is taking 5 by 11. So to cover up 60 degree, it will take double of this. That's 120 by 11, right? After that, at 3 o'clock, the situation will be there. Then it has to gain 90 degree. So triple time will be taken. So 33, 60 by, instead of 60 by 11, it will be 180 by 11. Okay, and the story will be continued. If the same story continues, what happens? I just make a chart over here. See, after 1 they are meeting, right? We have taken the case when they are starting together at 12 o'clock. After 1 they are meeting, after 1, then after 2, after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So these are 11 cases when they are meeting, and after they are further meeting at 12 o'clock. So we started with 12 and we are ending till 12. So before 12 they are meeting for 11 times. Okay, so that by calculation we have proved, but every time we don't have to calculate it. You can just keep that in your mind that every hour they are going to meet for once, but between 11 to 1 in these 2 hour duration they are just meeting for once. Okay, otherwise in all the remaining cases they are meeting once, between 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, but between 11 to 1 they are just meeting at 12, and that for once only. Okay. Yeah friends, here I have forgotten to mention that when they are meeting after 11, according to this chart, they are just meeting at 12. So we started the story from 12 and we ended up the story at 12, right? So you can see very well that they are meeting for 11 times only, because between 11 and 1 they are meeting once, that's after 11, and that too at 12 o'clock. Okay, so I'm sure you are clear with the concept, but you don't have to make the calculation every time. You should be clear about that. Every hour they are meeting once, and between 11 to 1 they are just meeting once between these 2 hours. Okay. Now how many times are the hands of a clock are at right angle? So I just take an example. Maybe suppose we talk about at 4 o'clock. This is 4 o'clock. After some time, what will happen? Some more than 5 minutes, what will happen? Minute hand will come over here. R and will also move some distance. So the angle will be 90 degree. Okay. Here in this case, minute hand is behind the R hand. But after some times, what happens? The situation will be like this. Okay. So further, they will be forming a right angle with each other. So in every hour, the hands of a clock are at right angle twice. Okay. But what happens at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock? Just observe it carefully. At 3 o'clock, this is the situation. And at 9 o'clock, this is the situation. Okay. So at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, the situations are identical. So both the hands are forming right angle with each other for 22 times. Right? 2 cases are deducted from this. Okay. At 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So 22 times they are making right angle with each other. Okay. Now friends, let's try this problem. A clock is set right at 5 a.m. The clock loses 16 minutes in 24 hours. What will be the right time when clock indicates 10 p.m. on the third day? See, after 1 day, 2 days and 3 days, 3 day, right? And 5 a.m. 24 hours, 24 hours and 24 hours. After the 72 hours, 10 p.m. that is from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. that's 17 hours. Okay, so since the clock is losing 16 minutes in 24 hours, that means in 72 hours 48 minutes are already lost. After that we have to make the calculation for the 17 hours. Okay, now just listen to me carefully. 16 minutes in 24 hours, that means 2 minutes in 3 hours it's losing. Okay, so in next 15 hours, 3 hours 2 minutes, so in next 15 hours 10 minutes are lost. 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10, so 10 more minutes are lost. Okay, and then in next 2 hours are from here, and we have 3 hour calculation. So in next 3 hour 2 more minutes will be lost. So here we have taken the calculation till 11 p.m. So till 11 p.m. 60 minutes might have been lost by this clock. That means when this clock is indicating 10 p.m. the actual time is 11 p.m. Getting my point? I just go for a quick recap over here. Just listen to me carefully. In 24 in 72 hours from 5 a.m. to 5 a.m. the third day, after 3 days, 72 hours. So in 16 minutes are lost in 24 hours. So in 72 hours, 48 minutes will be lost. After that, we have to see this clock is indicating 10 p.m. The right clock may indicate more than obviously more than 10, maybe 11, maybe 11:15, something like that, but definitely the time will be more than 10 because 48 minutes we have already calculated. Now 16 minutes in 24 hours, that means 2 minutes in 3 hours is being lost by this clock. That means what is happening over here in next 15 hours, instead of 17 I'm taking 15 hours. So in 15 hours 10 more minutes will be lost. Okay, so 48 plus 10, 58 minutes are lost. Now in further next 3 hours, after 8 p.m. we can say, till 8 p.m. 58 minutes are lost, and from 8 to 11 in 3 hours further 2 more minutes are lost. 2 minutes in 3 hours, so 2 more minutes are lost. So till 11 p.m. 60 minutes are lost. That means when exactly it is 11 p.m. this clock is showing 10 p.m. So that this clock is showing 10 p.m. when actual clock or the accurate clock is showing 11 p.m. So 1 hour is lost. So what will be the right time? It's actually 11 p.m. So no much calculation is involved. You just have to think logically, nothing else. Okay. Now friends, let's see this problem. A clock is set right at 8 a.m. The clock gains 10 minutes in 24 hours. What will be the right time when this clock indicates 1 p.m. on the following day? Very simple problem, friends. Since this clock is gaining 10 minutes in 24 hours, that means when this clock moves for 24 1 by 6 hours, 1 by 6 hours, that means 10 minutes. So when this clock moves for 24 1 by 6 hours, the right clock moves for just 24 hours, right? So when this clock is moving for 8 to 8, that's 12 plus 1, 24 plus 5, 29 hours, right? 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. the next day, then plus 5 hours, right? So that's 24 plus 5, 29 hours. Then this clock will move how much time? Okay, so it's 24, 24 1 by 6, that's 145 by 6, and this is 29. Okay, so that's 6 into 4.8 hours, 6 8s are 48, 6 4s are 24, plus 4, 28.8 hours. Okay, so when this clock moves for 29 hours, this clock moves for 28.8 hours. So 0.8 hours is actually 48 minutes. That means this clock will move for 28 hours, 48 minutes. That means actually the time is 12 hours, 12:48 when this clock is showing 1 p.m. So it's 12:48. Okay friends, so these sort of problems are really very easy when the clock is gaining or losing time. I have taken two examples, various examples can be taken, and you can try them on your own. So we have discussed so many problems based on clocks, and if you're not clear for the problems for the first time, just watch the video once again, because when the sort of problems are there in the exam, you should be able to do, because these are like, you can say, the free marks are there. Okay, so all the best. I'll see you in the next session once again with a new topic. Bye bye.